if you talk to brands and to creators that want to enter the Chinese market, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you want them to avoid? Like, what are some things that anyone who tries to push into the market and doesn't really understand the market would get wrong that you can help them with?
The first thing we say is just make sure they're set up for success. And what I mean by that is making sure that they have a solid team and infrastructure around them to support the things and the demands that the Chinese market could ask for. So whether it's investing in marketing, a lot of brands would come to us and saying, here's my inventory, you figure it out. But it really does take time and investment, and you can't be too short-sighted. It's all about, when we speak to brands, it's about developing together a 3-year plan to make sure that we're setting very realistic expectations about what to expect. And I think that's where, a lot of brands kind of fall back and say, well, this market's so big, how come you can't do more sales? The trick is, like, a lot of brands come into the market and leave the market because they haven't planned properly. So planning is everything. We typically think brands should be at a certain size before they come in. It depends on the category, but typically, we look for brands that are probably doing close to 50 million of revenue in their domestic market. That just tells us that they're that size, that they probably have 15 to 20 employees from different, different levels and different infrastructure sizes, so they can handle the demands. Because, as probably 50% of the revenue happens in Q4 in China, just because of all the sales events which we're heading into right now. So that's typically what we advise.
Okay, and how much of that strategy then that you're customizing for your clients revolves around live shopping and social commerce in China? How big of a factor is that for
I
you?
would I would say about 80%.
Wow. Okay. So that is then based off of the affiliate network that you have and the live shoppers or live streamers that you work with?
100%. We have an incredible network now that allows us to automatically figure out who are the right partners and affiliates to help us grow your brand. Where we have in-house capabilities, that everything from our own design, marketing agency, messaging, copywriters. We do everything in-house, and we're able to create entertainment shows around your brand to really show it in a different light. And there are all these different platforms, social platforms, whether it's the Weibos of this world, the Xiaohongshu, which is the Little Red Book, or Taobao, Tmall, Douyin, WeChat. It goes on and on. And then you have all the different video platforms like Bilibili, Kuaishou. So there's a lot to learn. And I think from a brand, it's really important that they understand that they have to release the control to us so that we can do our best to make sure that the brand does what we expect.
I would imagine that that's pretty hard for a lot of brands to simply let go and hope for the best. How does that then look like going forward? Like, do they have KPIs that they give you? Do you check in once a month or even
Yeah,
more frequently with them? How does that look like?
it generally starts very fairly intense, like at least once a week, where we have check-ins, and we share all the data. We're very transparent with what's going on within their category, who are their competitors, what's going on in their pricing, what's wrong with their product. It could be, an opportunity to tweak a formula. It's really a lot of detail. It's not such like running an Amazon storefront. This is something that it's really important that all the comments, the remarks about what your product is fed back to the brand. There have been so many situations where, we've had to change the formula so that it's successful in the Asian market. But that's something that, sets us apart as a partner, because we're not someone that would take anything down the line and just try and hopefully sell it. And unfortunately, sometimes brands don't work out in China, for whatever reason. So, it's just like the US. Not every brand can have a runaway success, as in Europe or anywhere else in the world. So it's really about, from a brand perspective, if they get it right, there's a huge opportunity. But pick a category that's not so crazy competitive. That's obviously, the Chinese market's very, very good at pricing things to perfection so no one makes any money.